Hey everybody, you're watching Cole the Corn Star. Today we are going to be doing something I never dreamt that I would be doing. We are currently building an addition on my $7,000 mansion, and I got a text message this morning that said, bring a shovel, which is the last thing you want to hear when you have a house that does not have a roof on it and you just got 12 inches of snow. So I guess today we are going to be shoveling a foot of snow out of my house, which is something I thought that I would never do, but here we are. On top of the snow in the house, the snow plow has also not came down the road yet, and there are a few choke points where it's kind of drifted shut a little bit, making it kind of difficult to get down. So I'm going to take the snow blower first thing, and I'm gonna clear a little path so that way I can make sure that everybody can get over to the house to be able to help shovel. I was running the snow blower in the dark last night, and I must have caught some pallet wrapping straps. So before we get this all snowy, I am going to see if I can get all of these cut out. Well, I don't know if this is the best tool or not, but it's what I'm going to use. Using the grinder cutoff wheel may not have been the fastest or the best feeling on my hands, but it worked, and we now got this thing clean, as good as new. Since the snowplow has not came down the road yet, I need to be quite careful getting over to the farm with the trailer. I do know there are a few spots that could potentially be drifted across. So if they get bad enough, I have the snow blower on. I will just get out, snow blow my path through, and then I will keep moving. This is what should be the worst spot. It appears somebody came through with their truck plow and cleared a little path. So we made it through this one just fine. I now have probably one more hard part. Coming up on the second spot, this may be a bad idea, but I feel like if I'm going 40, I should be able to make it, and yes, we did. There we go. Kind of pulling me all around the road though. One thing I don't understand is why my truck even has a traction control off button, because when you turn it off, it doesn't fully turn off traction control. It's still partly on, so I really don't know why they even have that button there. I have good news. It looks like everybody made it to the farm without getting stuck on the road, so I do not need to do any road snow blowing, which is good. We are now going to get to scooping. Before we get started pushing snow, first off, welcome to the house. So from the snow we got about 12 inches everywhere, and then once it got done snowing 12 inches, we got 40-mile-an-hour winds and things started to blow a little bit. So right here in the middle of my driveway, we had the biggest snowdrift that I found. It was pretty much 3 feet deep all the way through the center of my driveway here. And fortunately, we did not get this up in the house, but we did get the foot. So here's a little tour. The downstairs did not get it nearly as bad. Now, fortunately, we do have a roof over the kitchen area, or we at least have it plywooded. So the snow in the kitchen room is pretty little. And then right here, there is absolutely nothing. So, I mean, we got the brood of it here. And then over here in the living room, same thing. This has a roof on it as well. So there's actually no snow in there. Walking back into the hallway and the master bedroom area. Fortunately, we did not get a foot, but unfortunately, we still did get some snow. There are a few inches of snow in these rooms. I'm hoping the leaf blower will be able to blow it out. It is kind of light, fluffy-ish snow. If it got warm and then cold again, this would probably set up. But, I mean, I can blow it like that. So that's good news for the leaf blower. If we can get the leaf blower in here, this should actually clean up pretty quick, or at least I'm optimistic about it. The upstairs, on the other hand, is a whole different story. This is the little commons area, and we got a foot through the entire hallway here. Look at this ladder on top of these sawhorses. It's just stacked up. Uh-oh, it's a little bit more set up here. then look at this room. Yeah, we got a lot of snow in there. This is the guest room, completely full. Got the room across the hallway, completely full. The guys have already started clearing out this room and the hallway. The balcony is full. They've been getting stuff opened up over here. Yeah, there is a lot of snow. We feel like if we get enough snow pushed out, we should have a snow pile big enough where we can just jump in right there. Over the past few weeks while I've been working in the fields, the guys have been really busy here on the house. They've been getting walls framed, but they also have been getting roof trusses on. There are quite a few of them. There are quite a few to go. Unfortunately, we don't have any plywood up, so we couldn't really block any of the snow coming in. I'm just blaming it on somebody left the window open to the house. That's why we got the snow up here. But things are looking really good through here. And we're gonna try to get the snow out of the entire house first. And then once we get done with that, if we still have some daylight, we'll probably start working on the roof. We're going about the snow removal in a two-phase process. Process number one is to come in and just get rid of all the big stuff, and then process number two will be to come in with the leaf blower and get all the fine stuff as well as the stuff that is all on top. So we are currently working on process number one, and we've been at it for about 3 hours now. We've got all the rooms done except for the guest bedroom. And I think we saved the best for last. This room is deep, jeez. I'm quite thankful we have 3 people helping today because I did this guest room all by myself. Now granted, this was the deepest room, but it did take me 45 minutes by myself. We now got all of the big snow off the ground, so we are going to move on to our next phase, which honestly is not going to be as fun because it's going to be a lot more nitty-gritty, but we're going to have to start up top with the leaf blower, so we're probably going to have to climb up on top of these walls and get up in the rafters, and we're going to blow all the snow that is up there off. That will fall down here, and then we will also be going along and we'll be knocking out all of the snow between the studs, and then we'll be leaf blowing out all the remainders, and then we will be shoveling all of this snow out as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that it is starting to snow. Take a look at this. That is all of the snow that was in the guest bedroom. And then look at this one. That's the snow pile that was in all of the other rooms upstairs. Shoveling the inside of the house is not the only snow removal that is going on today. On the farm side of things, we have 10 loads of corn that are supposed to be going down over the next couple days. And so Zach right now is in his plow truck, and Cooper is in the skid loader, and they are currently trying to get this area cleared out. We had like 2.5 feet of snow through this entire spot. And so there is a lot of snow that needs to be pushed. And my brother is running the bucket right now instead of the snowblower because, well, we didn't really get much for frost prior to getting the snow. So the snowblower is currently acting like the rock blower. Here comes Zach. He's got to run. He's got a big old thing of snow and right up on the pile. You know, what we really need to do is just install a heated driveway. And then we wouldn't have to worry about this snow removal stuff. like we got pretty fortunate with the snow that we did get, because in Iowa it's not terribly uncommon to have super wet snows, which are heavy and they pack and they are not fun to shovel around. And this one is actually a pretty light, dry snow. And then also, we usually get snow between 20 and 30 degrees on the temperature side of things, and it's not super uncommon to get snow and then have it warm up above freezing after. If that would have happened while we were doing this snow up here would have been so heavy, it would have taken us several days to get out and it would not have been fun. So we're glad it stayed cold and it is a light snow. And also, whenever you have a wet snow and you step on it, the areas that got compacted just freeze down and they turn to ice. So that's how we know we didn't get a wet snow here, because I just stepped and I can brush it all away. Well, actually, you can see it sticks a little bit, but you would be able to see my whole footprint and you would not be able to wipe it off if this was wet snow. It might not have been the most entertaining job that I've ever done before, but it sure was satisfying. We got all the snow out of the upstairs, got everything blown off of all the rafters, the tops of the walls, everything cleaned out between the studs. I'd say it looks pretty good in here. If it warms up to close to freezing for a couple hours, I think any snow that we have remaining should disappear pretty quickly. The only area where we really couldn't get to was out there, because we don't have any way to get out to that. So that's just gonna have to sit there. I think we are now good as far as the upstairs goes, because our next step is going to be going up onto the roof. I'm not 100% certain what our next roof step is. I think we can set more trusses over the top of where I'm standing, and then we can also put some sheeting down on the roof. So it's gonna be one of those two things. If I was deciding, I think I would choose some sheeting. That way, if we get snow, we at least have a sheeting roof over the top, and then hopefully we can prevent this from happening again. I just remembered, we have the water line in the basement that comes through the basement wall and would supply water to the entire house if it was hooked up to anything. But that's just sitting there right now, completely exposed to the freezing air. So I decided, you know what? Let's go look for the little hot water wraparound electric cord thing that heats up the pipes so that way it doesn't freeze. It can't be that hard to find, right? So I come in here to the back of the shop. I'm looking through all of these shelves. I'm climbing. I'm looking inside of boxes. I'm not finding anything. I go back over to the house. I look on the entire main floor. I go down in the basement. There is nothing. So I come back into the shop and I start looking on the back shelf again, and I'm not finding it. And then I decide, you know what? What is this little thing right here? And so I grab it. I didn't even know this was possible, but here it is. Here's our little water pipe heater. How did this thing get packed back into this container this perfectly? This is like trying to put a tent back into its bag. You just don't do it. I was not expecting this. So this is the water supply that comes into the house. This water line just runs right through the foundation wall outside out to the meter, and then it comes in here. We have a fitting on the bottom, then we have the valve to turn the water supply off to the house, and then we just have this one running up. The reason why we have it hooked up is so that way we can run the garden hose outside, and then this just cuts off right here. And so this is all the water lines that we have in the house. So I'm just gonna take that little heater cable and I'm gonna wrap it around this part. I don't want this line to freeze, I don't want this elbow to freeze, and I do not want this valve to freeze. I don't really think there's too much that I can mess up with this thing. I do know you're not supposed to wrap it super tight, because if you wrap it and overlap itself a lot, apparently these things can catch on fire. So we are not going to wrap super tight. Okay, should be plugged in. I wasn't really trying to wrap it that tight, but I think since it's not covered with anything and due to the fact that it's on metal right now, we should be okay. Wow, that heats up quick. It's not hot, it just feels warm. While I'm down here, I'm gonna look in the underground movie theater quick to see what kind of snow load we have down here. And it appears there is hardly any. I don't know how well the yard light shines into here, but the last thing that I'm gonna do over here for the night is I'm going to remove that giant pile of snow that I took out of the guest bedroom. The reason why I wanted to clean this pile up tonight is because I threw all of the snow from up there, and when I threw the soft stuff down, it packed down here. So it is now hard, and it's just gonna keep freezing harder and harder, and I don't want this big pile to turn into a giant ice chunk, because then I won't be able to move it. And also, this thing is really heavy. I don't think it's too heavy for the floor system down below, but if I can get all this weight off the floor, I would like to do that. So we have quite a little push to get it over, to get it outside of the house. And going across this area is also a little challenging because I can't push my shovel too big because this is slippery and I lose traction with my feet. So I'm taking it a shovelful at a time. I would say I'm probably half an hour in and I have eaten up half of the pile. We got the whole pile completely cleaned up. This may sound a little strange, but after working, I'm now going to do a workout because honestly, it helps my body feel a lot better. Don't get me wrong, I'm tired right now. I really want to go to bed, but we're gonna get this done quick. So I'm going to do a pushing motion, I'm going to do a pulling motion, and I'm going to do a squatting motion. So we're gonna be working these muscles, we're gonna be working these muscles, and we're gonna be working our legs. By the way, if you ever find yourself getting kind of stiff at the end of the day, I would highly recommend trying to do a little workout. You don't have to do anything crazy, but I feel like it really helps loosen me up and helps kind of pull things back the way that they're supposed to be. By the way, the first lift I'm going to do is relatively advanced, so if you are fairly new to lifting weights, I would just do a lunge or a squat instead. I'm going to be doing single leg ones, which they're pretty hard. Here we go. Got 100 pounds on my back. Got to balance on one foot, get our other foot back, and then we squat. For total sets and reps, I'm not really tracking sets, I'm tracking reps. I just want to do 25 reps total. If that takes 10 sets to get there, it takes 10 sets. If I do it in 3, it takes 3. The heavier you go, the more sets it's going to be. Push yourself as much as you want. For the pull exercise, I'm going to be doing pull-ups. I have a 25-pound weight hanging from me, but you don't have to do them with weight. And you can put your foot on something if you need to make them lighter, or a band, or whatever you gotta do to be able to do them. That's all that really matters. And then this is the last one. All right, it's time to go to bed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.